Hello and welcome to Pim Crafts. Today we are going to do this simple but beautiful pattern. This one I actually show you how you can make this pattern years ago, but some of you have said to me that I moved my hand way too fast and some of you cannot follow me along. Therefore, I decided that I will gonna redo this pattern because I think it's very important for you to understand how the rings and the chains work. In front of us here, I have different size of the thread that you can see, from the 6 strand of the thread to the thinner thread and more finer. For the beginner, I recommend you to use with number 10 or even bigger with number 5 if you have any in your collection. But if you don't have, just try anything that you have in your collection before you purchase any more threads. For today's tutorial, I'm gonna show you with embroidery frost. This is 6 strand of the frost, and I'm gonna use very regular shadow tatting with a single post in the middle. And I'm going to start with putting some threads inside the shadow, and we are going to begin with a couple of rings. So I hope that you can follow and understand how the rings and the chain work. For today, we don't need much thread because I just would like to explain to you how this pattern work. But for your actual work, I recommend you wire the shadow full so you don't have to change or connect the threads so often. Take a moment to look at the pattern. We have to begin with ring 1 and work the chains. From ring 2 and onwards, you have to work this sequence. Making a loop, and we are going to make the first half stitch. To make the first half, the shadow have to go underneath this thread that you hold with your left hand side and pass your shadow until the end and pass it back to this loop that we have hold on your right hand side. And we have here the first egg half of the form of the egg half stitch. Lower your middle finger down, and then in the meantime you have to pull your right hand out, and this creates the first half. To make the second half, your shadow must go over and put it back to this loop. Once again, you have to lower your middle finger down and flip the knot. Here we have the first and the second half. This is we call one full stitch of 1 DS. For this pattern, we need to have 3 DS. So I'm going to make the second stitch, the second half, first half, second half. So this is 3, and we are going to make a picot. So picot basically a tiny space that we leave between 2 stitches. And to complete, make the second half. Now we already create the first picot. I'm gonna adjust to make the loop slightly bigger, and then stitch 2 more DS. 1 and 2. And next, it said here we have to make 3P. So the 3P that we are going to make is the first one, and the third one gonna be shorter than the second one. To do that, leave a tiny space, make the second half, and then this second picot we make it slightly larger than the first one. And to finish, to make the second half, slide it to your left, and you can see here this first is shorter than the second, and the third one gonna be equal to the first, like that. And after 3 picot, we are going to make 2 DS. 1 and 2 and a picot and 2 more DS. And the pattern is just it. It literally this simple. So we're going to start with 3 DS, a picot, 2 DS, a picot, a picot, a picot, 2 DS, a picot, and 2 DS. And then to close, I normally hold my work with fingers and then I pull out like that. Because we use only one shadow today, therefore we have to flip the work. So fold your work and wrap your thread from the rest over your little finger and adjust your shadow a little bit. Therefore it's not too long, it's not too short. And then we are going to make the chain. To make the chain is same as making the ring. So we're gonna flip the first half go underneath, the second half go above, and we are going to make in total 3. This is 2 and 3, and after that a picot, and 2 more stitches, 1 and 2. Then again reverse your work back to the front and making a loop. Do 3 DS, 1, 2 and 3, and we are going to join our work. So I'm using here crochet hook 1.1 millimeter, and then we insert from the top, yarn the thread over, pass it through the picot, and we're forming here a loop in here, and you have to pass your shadow underneath, slide it through, and then adjust your thread. And then we are going to make 3 DS. This is the first half, second half. Before we are going to move on from this, some of other creators tend to do this one as the first half. Therefore, you can do this one at the second half, but I don't count this joining part as the first half. Therefore, I'm doing 3 DS. 2 and 3. Once again, the first picot shorter than the second, and the third is equal with the first. 2 more DS, a picot, and 2 DS. So basically, and then you can close the work like that. So we have to continue the work like this. Flip to make the chain, flip back to make the ring, flip to make the chain, and flip back to make the rings. Today's tutorial will be end here, but if you have any questions related to these patterns, please let me know. And I hope you enjoy making these beautiful patterns. And until next time, bye bye.